Good morning. I am on my way out to the mall and I am about to put on my foundation. I'm trying out the new NARS foundation, the Natural Radiant Longwear foundation that's on the market. I'm going to do a full review of this in a later video, but I'm just going to do a walkthrough of how I apply my foundation. So let's get started. All right, the first thing you want to do, of course, is to wash your face. So go ahead right now and wash your face. All right, second, you want to use some type of moisturizer, and of course go on the market and figure out what moisturizer is going to fit your skin type. You know, you got the oily skin, the dry skin, the combination skin. You just want to make sure you get a moisturizer that's good for your skin tone. And I just use my hands. So I'm just going to go in and put it all over my face. And always remember to bring your moisturizer all the way down your neck. It's kind of a strange thing to have really nice skin on your face and then your neck looks like it's left out. Okay? You want to let that dry back, but for the sake of the video, we're just going to go into the next step. But you do want to feel that the moisturizer has soaked into your skin. Now, I have a lot of redness today, and I don't even know how I got this bruise on my chin. And I have a lot of texture in my skin. So I would recommend using some type of primer. I am dry to combination skin. So today I'm going to be using the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer for pore minimizing. And you only need a very little bit of this, like a pea size. And what I like to do with this is I'm going to concentrate it in the areas that are the most problematic. And I'm just going to pat that in because my pores are really big. So I want this product to kind of fill it in and give the skin an appearance that it's nice and smooth and one level without all the pores showing. And of course my nose area. And you want to really tap this in. You don't want to go in a circular motion with this. And a little bit in my eyes. See, so I feel like I'm putting too much on today. And that was about a pea size. So I would say a little bit less, depending on where you're putting your primer at. That's where you want to concentrate. And this I would definitely let sit for a while. So I'd let the primer sit on your skin for a while, let it do its job, and then come back in a few seconds and then start the whole foundation. And then start your foundation routine. Next, you want to get whatever foundation that you're using and really shake it up. On the website, they really recommend that you shake up the foundation from NARS. So this is my very first impression on what I think of it. You already know my thoughts on the Fenty foundation. So we're going to try this one out, shaking it really good. And I love that it has the pump on it as well. So I'm going to just put that on my hand. I think the warmth from your hand softens the foundation and it kind of gives you better control instead of just putting it on your face. So I'm putting 2 pumps on there. I'm using a wet or damp beauty blender. And what you want to do to avoid the cake face is go in and add a little at a time. And then you can build up from there. I really like NARS. NARS was the very first foundation that I invested in when I first started makeup about 8 years ago. And I just feel like they have such good formula. Like this one is a lot more matte than the Sheer Glow is what I started with. I'm currently using the MAC foundation, which when I first tried the MAC foundation, it broke my skin out. So now it works. You know, your skin changes from season to season. And depending on that, you know, you should just try the foundation that's going to work for you. Now, I try as much as possible to avoid my under eye area because I'm going to add concealer. And I have really dark circles under my eyes. And I have a lot of natural creasing that happens. It's not that I lack sleep. It's something that I grew up with. So it's a problem that I just have to work around. So you want to make sure to get into your hairline so that's not obvious that you have foundation on. And then assess and see if you want more coverage in some areas. Like to me, this is a nice light coverage. You want to get your ears, make sure to get your ears. Then you want to make sure to come down your neck. And when using your beauty blender, you just want to use that bouncing motion because you want to get the product into the skin flawlessly. Now, if I was going to some type of event, I probably would use another half to another pump. But because I'm just testing this out, it feels so nice and moisturizing to the skin. That's probably my very first thoughts with this. And it's a buildable foundation, which is medium to full coverage. And I can definitely see that it can do that. I'm really liking it. It feels so nice and smooth. Okay, let's go in with the concealer. This concealer has totally shortened my makeup time because what I used to do is I used the Bobbi Brown concealer, the salmon color, because to cancel out my under eye circles. But with the Tarte Shape Tape concealer, this concealer is so pigmented that I don't need to go in and color correct. Now, what I used to do is do the whole Kim Kardashian from the you know, where my eye is and go down to the nose and kind of go out to the outer corner of my eye. And that is way too much concealer. It really starts caking on. My eyes droop and crease underneath my eyes. So what I like to do is I just like to put a dot right at the tip. And where my darkness is, the tip of that, then on the outer corner. So I'll do that to the other eye. That's all the concealer I feel that I need to put on. Otherwise, it really starts caking up and it looks like a hot mess underneath my eye. So I use the same beauty blender and I kind of let it sit for a little bit, kind of let the color stay in and soak into my skin before I go right in. But what I do right after I start blending out my concealer is I want to put my loose powder right on top of it. So I am using today the Laura Mercier, what is this one? This is the older version. It's just the translucent powder. So this is not the one with the tint. I would love to try that one out, but we're going to finish this one first. So let's go ahead and start blending it out. I start from the bottom. And I just work my way to the top. And I just slowly let the concealer do its work. And I don't want to move it around too much because then it loses its concealing power. Then it starts, you know, the concealer starts moving around too much. So I want to let the concentrated part be where my darkness really is, and then I'll go in and do all the extra work on fading it into my foundation. So I really like how this conceals. I think you can see a big difference. I hope it comes up across on camera, but there's a big difference between both eyes, and I feel like it still lightens my under eye area. You to blend that out. Like the key for me is people with no creases underneath their eye, they don't need to do all this, but I have to like look up. I hope I'm still in frame. Trying to stretch that area out, and then I immediately get my powder and I start working that in. I just push that in there to try to avoid as much creasing as possible. Like I said, my eyes will naturally crease. I want to push out like the last one, that was way too much powder. I want to kind of brush off any excess powder. And I'm gonna look into the heavens so I can get every little bit underneath my eyes. I cannot stress how good this foundation feels on my skin. It feels so silky smooth on my skin. This is definitely something I could wear the whole day. I love it. I'm loving it. Before I go ahead and brush off the excess powder, I usually just let it sit there for a while. I don't do the whole baking with a huge thick part of powder there just because of my creasing problem. So I'll go ahead and just bronze, and my go-to is Give Me Sun, the mineralized skin finish from MAC. And so what I use is a big powder dome brush. You want to always tap off the excess, and I just kind of lightly bronze my face, because I feel like with any foundation on your face, it lays your face flat. And I definitely go under my chin because I had that turkey neck with trying to cut some of that down. And unless I'm going out, I'm not going to do any deep contouring. I just do the bronzing to contour a little bit. Then you want to work it down your neck, because sometimes you'll see girls with the bronzer or the contouring that's right underneath their chin, and it's just like this dark line, and it doesn't fade into their neck. And makeup is one of those things that it's really an type of art form that you can do. There's really no hard set rules. I remember when I started doing makeup, and the big thing was you don't mix any liquids with powder. Now the big thing is, if you have oily skin, you can use your translucent powder to set it on your face first, and then let it soak in your oils, and then you put your liquid foundation right on top. So like I said, there's no set rules with makeup, but I would say you definitely want to you want to fade everything in so it doesn't appear like, we all love to wear makeup, but we want to look as natural as possible. No one wants to go in and say, bam, this is my face. You want to accentuate your natural features, your bone structure, and that's what makeup will do for you. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put on the rest of my face off camera, and then I'll come in and just let you see the rest of it. So the last thing I do is I go ahead and brush off, which I already did because I forgot I was videotaping. So I brush off the excess setting powder that's on my under eye area. And then the main thing I always have to set my skin, because I do not like the powdery look. I like it to look like my skin. So what I always do is I use MAC's Fix Plus, and I go ahead and just drench, not drench my face, but I put a couple of sprays on there. And I just let it soak in. Super wet. People are probably like, what in the world? No, but it really sets my face. Otherwise, it takes time. Like if I don't have my Fix Plus on me, I go out and it looks powdery, but by the midday, everything is set in place and it looks like my skin. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, press that like button, turn on your notifications, then you'll find out every time I put up a new video. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.